Well, the Standing Committee on Public Accounts will hear Eskom's version on the allegations of corruption at the power utility made by former CEO Andre de Ruyter. The board is set to appear in Parliament later on today, and our senior reporter Ayesha Ismail will follow proceedings for us. But she joins us live now for a quick update before those proceedings do start. Ayesha, good morning to you. And yesterday we definitely heard from law enforcement, the SIU, SAPS, members of the Hawks presenting to the Standing Committee on Public Accounts. But today is different. We'll be hearing from the Eskom board.
That is correct, and we already saw members of the Eskom board filing into the Marks building. They will take up the seats today in the SCOPA meeting, and of course members of Parliament who sit on the SCOPA committee will be questioning Eskom about the rot, so to speak, at the at Eskom. And of course yesterday we heard from the law enforcement agencies about what it is exactly that they are doing to address and to get rid of the rot at Eskom. And some of the members of Parliament were not happy with the answers that they were getting from the law enforcement agencies, because they wanted to know what you have the information. You've spoken to Andre de Ruyter, you've interviewed people. What exactly is it that you are doing? And of course we heard from members of SAPS, from the Hawks, from the SIU about people being arrested, about assets being confiscated to the value of more than 26 million rand. But still members of Parliament were saying, what exactly are you doing in terms of dealing with corruption, dealing with we've heard about the all the theft that's taking place at Eskom. We also heard Becky Cele talking about the fact where he visited one of the plants and said that he came across a case where coal was where rocks were painted as coal, and that went into the machines. The machines obviously then broke. He also talked about the trucks that were bringing diesel, but not a drop of diesel had been delivered. And of course this just shows what is happening at Eskom at the moment. But again, the law enforcement agencies trying very hard to convince members of SCOPA that they are doing everything within their power to deal with the matter. But of course today we're going to be hearing from the Eskom board exactly what the situation is, and we've already heard from some of the energy experts saying that come winter things are going to get even worse. Some even saying that we are already experiencing stage 8 and that Eskom is not telling us this. But again, we'll be hearing from the Eskom board today exactly what the situation is, and especially whether they agree about. Sorry, you go ahead.
Right, yeah. Sorry, Ayesha. I wanted to just also jump in there and I'd also touch on, the senior politician that Andre de Ruyter had oftentimes been mentioned to. Remember the first time he appeared before SCOPA, he even went on to go into this debate with the parliamentarians about whether it was a senior minister, whether it was a senior ANC politician or a sitting parliamentarian. I mean, the wording was a debate. However, we understand from law enforcement, Ayesha, that no politician is currently under investigation regarding what's happening at Eskom.
Well, that was repeated over and over again by SAPS, the Hawks and the SIU. They do not know who the senior politician is or who the senior politicians are. They're saying that no politician is being investigated by any law enforcement agency.
All right, Ayesha Ismail, I'll leave it at that because I understand, of course, you have to get inside and see what's happening with those proceedings as the Eskom board does appear before SCOPA. Senior reporter Ayesha Ismail following through with those proceedings for us. Yesterday, law enforcement speaking in front of parliamentarians, tabling the work they're currently doing from an SIU perspective, from the Hawks, from members of the SAPS, being the National Police Commissioner being present alongside the Police Minister, Becky Cele. Tabling where they are in terms of what they've uncovered, what Andre de Ruyter has presented before them as the former CEO of Eskom, but also where they are now, the status of those investigations. We'll be sure to update you on the latest from what the Eskom board had to say.